Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here again with 3 more questions from the scribers. I love when the scribers ask me questions because then I get to make more videos and ramble. And you guys know how much I like to ramble. Okay, question number 1. Will the DC shut off with no load? Inside the hidden menu that's in this machines, there's an auto timer, okay? And in that auto timer, you're able to select from nothing, which is off, all the way to 6 hours. What that does is if you don't use the system for that amount of time, the system will shut down on you. So if you do have something like a portable refrigerator or something like that, or just something that needs to be overnight kind of thing, you know, if you set that menu to off, then the system will stay on until you turn it off. That's how we keep ours. I would show you now, but as you can see, I'm doing a lot here. There's another video I put up that just specifically caters to that. So the system should not shut off if you set that to off. If you have it set to 1 hour, after 1 hour of no load, then of course the system's going to shut down because you told it to. So the system only listens to what you tell it to do. Okay, so that's question number 1. Question number 2 was a question that I had when I first got the system. Anyone who has bought a power station, and I'm talking to you, directly you, anyone who has bought a power station always ends up, and this is everybody, always ends up wanting more and more capacity and power. That is the inevitable with these systems. You will want to grow it into a Tesla coil on the back of your car. It's just... like with computers, it comes with the territory. You start out with a Pentium 1, and now you want an i9 with 4,000, you know, you know what I mean. It does not stop. This is very addicting. It's like candy and soda pop. So, can you have more than 2 batteries on this system? The short answer is no. For safety, for one. So the resistant load on the batteries, it's too much trouble. You create too much heat. There's too much friction. There's too many problems. The energy has to, you know, there's always a limit to a battery or any kind of a power system. And if you pass that limit, you're going to run into trouble. You could start fires. You could heat up your cables and have hot spots or burn marks, you know, on your cables and stuff. So the short answer, no, do not go past 2 batteries, 2 EB3000s on this model. Now, whether somebody can make a mod or something, that's different. And that, you know, that means it's a possibility. However, unless you're experienced in working around things like that, which is going inside the batteries and modding them, don't do it. Just buy 2 batteries. That's the safest, shortest answer I can say. Stick with what the engineers designed it for. Those guys are pretty intelligent guys, and they for 99% of the time, they know what they're doing. The only 1% of the time where they might not know what they're doing is those guys out there that like to tinker with stuff. I consider myself a very small part of that little tradition. Is I like to take stuff apart and mod it. It's one of my favorite things ever since I was a kid. You take the drill apart and you figure out, how could I make this drill better? How can I make this tool work harder, stronger, better? But unless you have any background with that, please do not open these systems and start monkeying around in the internals, because I might lose a scriber that way. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to end up in the hospital. Okay, and I love my scriber family. I mean, my new family now. We're building this here. Okay, so the third question came in yesterday. And this is also another idea that I had. Hot swapping batteries. Now, in theory, it sounds like a fantastic idea. You think, well, I'll buy 4 or 10 of these EB3000s, right? And then I'll just charge them up, and whenever I need extra power, I'll just slap them to the system. You can get away with that only if you do this following step. Charge the main unit to 100% and then attach the batteries. So once you drain all of it down, you have to charge this back to 100% for safety and then hook up 2 fresh batteries. There's no memory in the system, I don't believe, that it knows this battery from that battery. It just knows batteries and batteries, right? So the long story short is no, Unless you do that, you have to make sure, or you should, just for safety, make sure that when you hook up the 2 new fresh batteries to your system, another 6 kilowatts, which is a lot, make sure you hook it up to the system that's completely charged or very, very close to being charged. If you cross 2 different voltages that are very, very different, what you do is, if it's like, say you were standing here and there's a river behind you, and when you got out of the way, that voltage, hence that river, would flow towards the other battery. Now that might possibly overload the wires, the circuitry, the BMS inside, the MPPT controller. It might be too strong for it, and until that's properly tested, I wouldn't recommend you doing that. I would, like I said, if you were going to, I'm not telling you to do it. If you were going to, I personally would do it if I followed that safety tip. I would buy 4 batteries. I would charge 2 of them. I would set them to the side, like if I was camping or whatnot. That way you have 6 kilowatts basically in the closet for when you need it, or under a bed or something. And then when your system is 100% or you know, getting very dead, very low, your power consumption is being depleted, I would use the solar or something to charge the unit up, just the top part, back to 100%, and then I would hook up the 2 new batteries. I would do it that way because I believe, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, I believe that's very safe because, like I said, since there's no memory in the system of what batteries were hooked to the system, just that you have batteries hooked to the system. Does that make sense? It's hard to explain when you're not an engineer. Sometimes the words that I use and the way I explain stuff is a little different than engineers. If they would listen to what I say, they say, oh, that you're explaining it different. Well, that's just the average layman's terms of how I speak. But sometimes that helps people understand it better, being a more simplistic answer. So in short, I wouldn't do it. In a long answer, yes, I would, as long as you follow that safety guideline of make sure this puppy's charged before you put the new batteries on. Hopefully, I'm gonna put my hands together here. I'm gonna hope and pray. Let's hope PECRON can build a bigger system. I think this company has a bright future as long as they can keep working the bugs out of systems and stuff. If they can get a system like this to carry anywhere between 4 or even, holy cow, 10, 20 of these EB3000s or something similar, holy shit, I would buy it. My credit card is in my hand already, and I would buy it. If I could get this power system with 10 batteries hooked to it, holy crap, I would have it today. No jokes. There's absolutely no jokes. Okay, well, that's the questions that I got. Hopefully the answers will help you on your journey here in learning about this system. If you have any other questions, please feel free, comment. I love rambling, guys. You're giving me another reason to ramble and make another video and possibly help 1 or 2 more people. I'm getting a lot of people that are literally telling me thank you because the information that I'm supplying here, it just doesn't seem to be anywhere else. So I don't know if I caught a special group of people that just happen to have the same hobby, wants, and likes that I have with this system. But when I buy something, man, I test the jeebies out of it. I don't care what it is. If it's a pair of shoes or a hat or a solar generator, I test it because I want to know what this puppy's capable of. All right, guys, leave me a message. Hey, don't forget to become a scriber, man. We're building a family of scribers. You could be a scriber. All right, guys, travel safe. I'll talk to you again. Ramblin' Bob Reviews. Bye.